Hello everyone, welcome back to Gran Turismo 7. This is a video I've had sitting at 90% finished for a while. Literally all I have to do is the voiceover. But anyway, it's about time we get this one finished because this is Gran Turismo 7 update 1.48. Update 1.49 is just released yesterday at the time of doing the voiceover. So yeah, it's about time I actually got this video finished. The first car we're driving is a Volvo 240 SE Estate. Volvo, a new brand to Gran Turismo 7, not new to Gran Turismo full stop. We've had Volvos in the game in the past, but not in GT7. So it's always nice to see some new brands coming into the game as we immediately get on the attack and get racy in what's a relatively old car, 1993. It honestly looks a bit older than that with how boxy it is, but yeah, 1993. But it's actually really fast for what it is. It's a really nicely handling car, and it certainly is going to be a fun one to drive when the opportunity arises. But you can see we're making our way through the field pretty quickly at the moment, absolutely blasting all these more modern cars as we crest the hill here at Kyoto Driving Park. This is the Yamagiwa layout, and yeah, we're flying so far in this race up into 4th position as we're still on the first lap. Not a long race, only 2 laps here, so it's not going to take us too long to get this one done. And with the rate of overtakes, we should be able to get to the front by the end. Bit deep into the left-hander there. It's a pretty deceptive corner at times, but we get away with it. And yeah, now we wind our way back towards the start line through the last sequence of corners. Short shoot here. Up to the final corner. Okay, it's a slightly longer shoot than what I thought it was, but regardless, we are not quite going to make a move yet. We'll have a little think about it to the outside. There is one of the other Volvos added to the game, or the other Volvo, I should say, and I'm just changing the setting here so we can see what the other cars are. A Volvo V40, that is, and we're in the Volvo 240, so nice similar names to get us nice and confused between the new cars. But anyway, we're up into 2nd position now. The car in front of us, a Lancia Delta, so another bit of an older car leading this race as we absolutely clobbered those inside curbs in all the wrong ways through the sweeping turn 1. We'll see if we can get a nice run through this next S section of ever tightening corners. We'll throw it up the inside, and we'll find ourselves up into the race lead. And that is where we'll stay for the remainder of the lap and the remainder of the race. We'll cross the line and take the victory here at Kyoto Driving Park, Yamagiwa, in the European Clubman, nope, Sunday Cup even, not even Clubman Cup, European Sunday Cup 400, so very low performance car event here, but nice way to ease into things for this update. So yeah, that is the first car and event checked off the list. Let's see what's next. So next we grab the other new Volvo added to the game, the 2013 Volvo V40 T5 R design, and we head to another Sunday Cup event, another European Sunday Cup event. Another European Sunday Cup event, this time the 500, so a little bit faster, moving into the more modern machinery. This car a full 20 years newer than the 240, this one being the V40 of course. So let's see how we go, and yeah, we'll see if we can take the win here. It's going to be a little bit tricky. This is not actually a new event, by the way. There was nothing to really suit this car perfectly in terms of the new events added in this update, so this is an existing event. Not a lot of visibility out the back window of this car, does have to be said. It's from the inside, it's quite a small back window, but we won't be looking back too much in this race as we take a lot of the inside curbing and grass there, but we're making an aggressive start to this race. We've already moved ourselves up into the top 5 so far. In fact, the top 4 with that last manoeuvre, and we might be able to make it a podium place as we have a bit of a moment going into whatever this corner's called, and we make our way through regardless. But yeah, that was a little bit awkward. I was hoping to try and get that outside line, and did not find any space to work with there. But up onto the podium places now, just 2 cars are left in front of us. Moving our way through the field pretty rapidly in this one. Again, just 2 laps here at Spa, so yeah, it's not the longest race, so we do need to really get a move on if we want to make an impact late on in this race. We move on to the final lap then, and in fact all the way on to Blanchimont, and we're still a long way behind the 2 in front, so we're going to go absolutely full send down the inside, and just make our way through there. Absolutely fantastic. Up into the race lead, and yeah, that's that for this race. Yeah, couldn't quite have the pace in this one, but a nice enough handling car, but the outright pace just wasn't quite there in this race. I think we were making up, more time in the corners. It didn't quite have the straight line speed, but yeah, nice enough car to drive nonetheless. Not the track for it, but yeah, that was fun regardless. But let's move on to the next race. And the next car we're going to drive is the Honda Civic Sir 2 Egg 93. So another car from 1993. This is the FF Challenge 450 that we're heading into next. And yeah, we'll see how this one goes. We are at Autopolis for this one, so not a circuit I'm hugely familiar with still, so it's always a bit of an adventure to come and race here. But we'll see how it goes. I am steadily getting better at this track, but yeah, it's always a bit of a tricky one. Anyway, made a good start, immediately made 1 position up into P7, so only an 8-car field in this one, so small field as we make our way through up into P6. Nice and easy so far as we continue to try and close the margins, and we are absolutely going to smash this field in this car. We're flying at the moment. Engine swap for this car as well. Can't remember what it goes into. Probably just a newer Civic engine, but yeah, it's a very good engine swap for a car of this size, because you don't want to go too crazy with horsepower in a front-wheel drive. But anyway, as we continue to race on, we're up into 4th position already, and we've only been racing for about a minute, so absolutely flying in this race, and we are very quickly catching up to the next car as we're about to round off the first lap. We might even get the podium by the time we get there. As we race along, we can't quite get to 3rd before the end of the first lap, but we will right now down the inside into turn 1. We'll get the move done well before the corner with the extra straight line speed that we're carrying, and or a little bit on the grass on entry there. Got to be a bit careful doing that. We managed to keep control that time as we set our sights on the 2 cars that are left in front of us, and I think we're going to be able to grab these 2 positions in about the next 2 corners as we have a little think about where to do it now. We'll see if we can carry the speed through here, make the move down the inside into the next left-hander. Got that one done nicely, and we'll see if we can go for a move down the inside again. Similar technique, and we make our way up into the race lead. A little bit of an awkward run through the exit there, but cars behind can't fight back, and we're up into the race lead. And bringing that one home is pretty straightforward from there. Another race ticked off the list, and quite a nice car. Clean race bonus there as well, which is nice for very short races like this. It can actually be hard to get through the field without making contact with any of the other cars, so nice to get that one. We've also got a new Skyline in this one, so new Skylines are always welcome. And yeah, this one, the Nissan Skyline GTSR R31 from 1987. It's the Japanese FR Challenge 450 here at Autodromo Lago Maggiore West Circuit. So yeah, we'll just see how this all plays out, but I imagine being a Skyline, this thing is going to be pretty speedy, as we're already starting to have a think about the first car on the list, and we'll manage to sneak through down the inside on the exit as we get out of that first sector that I'm really not too much a fan of. But this is I'm not sure if this is a version of Maggiore I've actually done before. We sort of skip a little part of the usual first half of the lap down to what I still say is the most satisfying corner in Gran Turismo. Big downhill braking zone into a banked corner, big sand trap on the outside. Don't get stuck in that. Definitely could have carried way more speed there, but when you get that corner right, it is an absolutely awesome feeling when you get the momentum just right, get the line just right, and you just chuck it in with a whole leap of speed. And because of the fairly aggressive banking, it's actually probably more than what it looks like. It just sticks, and it feels really good. But anyway, we're still making our way through the field up into P5 so far, soon to be P4 if we can sneak down the inside here. We go fully off the road there. But we managed to make our way through now around the outside up into the podium places already in this race. So we are absolutely flying as we are going to just duck to the inside. Another position made up into P2 now. So we are absolutely screaming along at this rate. And at the end of the first lap, we've passed all but one car. We fast forward towards the end of lap 2. We catch the next car. We'll make the move easily around the outside. Big slide through the corner. A little bit of an awkward moment there, but we get away with it. We're up into the race lead. And once again from there, it's pretty easy to bring it home. And yeah, as you would expect from any kind of Skyline, feels amazing. And yeah, really nice addition to the ever-growing collection of Skylines in this game. We still keep getting new ones every once in a while, but I can't complain. I love Skylines. But next we have something pretty cool. This is the Honda NSX GT500 from the year 2000. It is Honda's first JGTC championship winning car in the iconic Castrol livery. World Touring Car 800 at St. Croix A. So this is not the version we did in Trans Am, which is the version that I'm most familiar with. But anyway, don't mind that we just clicked on exit and started the race. That makes no sense. So off we go, and we will see how things go here. I won't lie, this is probably attempt like 5, 6 at this race. But yeah, it was a pretty tricky one. You really have to balance the fuel burn to get through and avoid making any additional pit stops. But you still want to burn as much fuel as you can because the fuel refuel rate itself is quite high. But you just don't want to burn so much they have to make an extra stop. So it's an interesting balance. Unlike say with Trans Am, where we have to basically just save as much fuel as possible to save that time in the pits, where we have a very slow refuel rate there. It's just a bit of a different dynamic to what I've been used to. But regardless, we'll see if we can make the most of it, as we've got a bit of a side-by-side battle in front of us. We'll see if we can get involved as we head into this slight left-hander, not finding a lot of space, but we'll eventually find a gap to get through. We'll move ourselves up into P17 so far. But yeah, it was an interesting challenge, this race, and actually really did enjoy trying to get the most out of the strategic side of it, without burning too much fuel, and trying to find that sweet spot to get myself into a good position at the end of the race. So yeah, like I said, took a bit of trial and error, but this is when we eventually put it all together up into P15 so far in this race. as we continue on, we make the move on the Alfa Romeo there, move up into P14, and you can see the fuel in the bottom right. We've got 3.1 laps left at the moment, so you know, if we can stretch to a 4-lap stint and just do 2 of those, that'll get us to the end on a 1-stop, which is of course the ideal strategy. So we'll see if we can do that as we bring it around the final corner to conclude the first lap of 8 in this race. You can see very long laps here. We've ticked over the 3-minute mark on this first lap. Lap 2 of the race now, and we're going to make the move on the Dodge Viper there, and we'll be able to get through pretty easily on that one. Time for this big long straight again, and we're going to make a whole bunch of places here in a straight line, zooming on through, gaining 3 places, and up into the top 10. We can't get us stopped into the fence. Oh my goodness, we're not the only one to not stop her there. But yeah, straight away we're back down into P13 once more. Moving on from that, we're up on the bridge on lap 2. We'll see if we can make some overtakes now as we're closing in, and a bit of a mistake there, I'll be honest. I just got a little bit lost in that situation, but anyway, we're up into P12 as we've got the Toyota in front of us. We'll see if we can make the move around the outside, and a little bit of a commitment there, tyres skating all the way around that rather awkward corner, but we're through and up another position into P11 now, and we'll soon be up into P10 if we can get this one last overtake done on this lap. It'll have to be on the run towards the finish line as we have a bit of a moment on the way in. We might not be able to get that one just yet, but we're close. We'll stay on board as we sit in the distant slipstream of the car in front. We should be able to get this move done maybe into the first corner. It's late and we can't quite get there just yet. So we're threatening to make this pass, but we're still just too far back to do anything even in a straight line. But maybe this is finally the opportunity, as we'll make the move now down the inside finally, and up into the top 10. We're just about keep it on the road, and we've finally locked away that position. But it might not be too long before we start looking for a little bit more, as we've still got quite a few cars in the immediate vicinity in front of us. We'll make the move down the inside, and we'll have to be a tiny bit forceful on the apex, but we'll make our way through and up another position into 9th. So again, good progress pretty early in this race, still only on lap number 3, so yeah, we're still relatively early on in this one, as we've got a nice cluster of cars in front of us. Still 3 very close together there, so it looks like we should be able to grab a few more in the near future once we get onto the next straight. We've actually got 4 cars right in front of us that we should be able to round up pretty quickly in a straight line, and we've put ourselves in a bit of an awkward spot on the outside there, but we get through, and yeah, we'll manage to hold a 9th position, and on the exit now we get a nice run on this huge long straight, and this time we're going to maybe try and stick to the right a little bit more. We have to go left there to get around, but we've hopefully nailed the braking point this time. A little bit deep, car in front goes off as well. We have to dodge them as they come back on, as we're now up into P5 in this race. So that's 5 overtakes or 4 overtakes in like that straight, and the next corner, as we are coming up to the bridge section soon, so there's going to be another good opportunity in a straight line to make another overtake here. We might be a bit far back, but we'll see what we can do over the bridge as we sit in the slipstream, closing that gap rapidly as we make the move down the inside, and we're well clear by the time we get to the next corner, up into 4th position now. Lap 4 of the race, and assuming we can make it back to the pits on the remaining fuel we have, that means we have nailed the 1-stop as we make our way up onto the podium places now. So running strong, but still a bit of a gap to the race leader. Into the pits we come then, and yeah, we are not going quite as long as those in front, so they've obviously still got better fuel economy than this car. We probably could, if we did some lift and coast, get 5 laps, but there's no point. 4 laps is you know, the optimal time to stop. Our tyres have just about had enough, so you know, it's the perfect time to put another set on and push on to the end of the race. And yeah, with the fuel refuel rate, you want to use as much as possible before coming in, because the entire tank fills up in about 5 seconds. So yeah, it's very, very quick. But anyway, with that done, maybe more like 10 seconds. But we're out of pit lane, and we've only dropped ourselves into P6, so still running in a very strong position in this race. Well, into lap 5 now, and we're going to go blazing on past another Honda NSX GT500 there, so don't know why we're so quick in a straight line, but regardless, we get that move done, up into the top 5 once more. We come around to the end of lap 5, few cars in the pits, so that should bring us up into the podium places. In fact, not quite. We'll drop into 4th position as one of them managed to sneak out in front of us, so we'll have to do something about that, as we're actually catching up to 2 cars at the moment, one of them just coming out of pit lane, but we should be able to round up both of them as we go down the inside. And we got a little bit deep, and that was a bit awkward, and that's gotten very awkward as we have a big fishtail on the exit with some contact there, and it's not getting any better as we continue to scrap it away there. But we're up into 3rd position. We should be able to steal 2nd once we get ourselves sorted, and we do just that, and finally get that move done up into P2. It takes us up until the end of lap 7 to finally catch the Nissan GT-R that's in the race lead, way ahead of everyone else. But we make the big dive down the inside, and we'll get through nice and easy as we start the final lap of the race. The final lap was largely uneventful, so we'll move on straight to the finish line, and at long last it's going to be race victory here after a few hours of trying this race. Yeah, we finally get there, but that was a tough one. Yeah, that was basically the perfect combination of minimizing mistakes and getting the fuel strategy right. 5-star roulette ticket, which is nice, but yeah, that was a tricky one. But anyway, that's done, and yeah, we can move on with the rest of the video. Not that there's too much more left to do in this one. We've done the bulk of it. But we have that roulette ticket, and of course we have a menu book to read as well, so we'll head on back to the cafe and have a little read of the very next menu book. It is Races of the Japanese GT. We finally have the trio in the game now, the old Supra, the old Skyline, and the old NSX from the late 90s and early 2000s. The championship winning cars of each manufacturer early in the championship's existence. But there we go, collection rate Races of the Japanese GT complete. 6-star roulette ticket for our troubles. And yeah, let's see what we can learn about these cars. The appeal of GT and touring car races is clearly evident in their machines. Cars commonly seen on city streets transform to compete on the track in the most intense races. These 3 cars are historic machines from the All Japan Grand Touring Car Championship (JGTC) of the late 1990s. Held from 1994 to 2004, the JGTC was formerly the pinnacle of GT racing in Japan, and the precursor to today's Super GT series. Nissan, Toyota, and Honda began vying for the #1 spot of the top GT500 category in 1997. Debuting in round 2 at the Fuji Speedway, Honda's NSX GT faced off against Nissan's Skyline GTR and Toyota's Supra, initiating a historic rivalry between the 3 automakers. The winner of the 1997 series was Team Toyota's Castrol Thomas Supra. This model from 1997 features a chassis and powertrain that was near perfection. the Toyota Supra comfortably won 5 of 6 races to steal the year's champion title. However, in 1998 and 99, Toyota was unseated by Nissan's Pennzoil Nismo GTR. This 1999 model is especially famous for being the last champion car to be powered by the legendary RB26 DETT. In 2000, Honda won its first JGTC champion title with the Castrol Mugen NSX. While the natural prowess of the NSX may have been stifled by JGTC regulations, such constraints were overcome in the 2000 season, which featured no less than 5 NSX GT machines. Of the 5, it was this Castrol Mugen NSX that came out on top. What a fine collection of the brightest stars in the history of Japanese GT racing. And there we go, that's the story of the early or mid-years, I suppose, of the JGTC. And yeah, now we have a couple of roulette tickets to spin, so let's have a little look at those. We get an engine swap from the 5-star ticket, and it's the Nissan Silvia Spec R Aero engine. So I'm not exactly sure what that goes into, but anyway, we'll have a look at the other one, the 6-star ticket, and this one is all engine swaps. So yeah, we got some fresh new engines for some of our cars potentially, but for this one we get the Suzuki Swift Sport engine. I honestly don't know what you could put that in to make it go faster. Maybe the Jimny actually might have that engine swap. But anyway, that is going to do it for this one. So I will say thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. I really do appreciate it. Please feel free to give me some feedback in the comments. It's always very helpful. And other than that, I will see you in the next one, and goodbye.